want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Hello and welcome to episode, as Raymond put it earlier, 76 of FANGIN and BANGIN with Gangrel. And now, is it Nicole or is it going to be Nikki Blackbird?
We'll go with Nikki then.
All right, Nikki, darling Nikki over there. And did you ever listen to the Prince song? No, I bet you didn't when you left here. You did not. I already seen it in your eyes. And Raymond in the shadows of his black ops government, whatever he's doing over there. So 76. How was your weekend?
It was awesome.
What'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Good question. Oh, I actually just relaxed, cleaned up a little bit.
Well, it must
Got
have
my
been a good
life
weekend. Together. So you relaxed and you cleaned up your life, or cleaned up your house, or cleaned up you?
A little bit of both.
Keep it shop. Why are you, Raymond?
Work, edit, stuff.
Yeah, okay. Same stuff all the time. I didn't know where I was this weekend. Where was I this weekend? I
know you did travel. You're always somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
How many flights have you taken the last year? Off the top of your head, go.
No, I don't know. Last year, like 2023, 50. I don't know.
That's insane.
Maybe flights, because you count the round trip, or do you count each segment?
Well, you have to count every
segment.
Plane,
Over 50.
Plane ride.
Over 50.
Over 50.
Yeah, over 50. Easy.
Like including connecting flights.
Because right now I have at least 50 in my phone for the next 3 months. So
insane.
So that it has to. We were already we're August, 8 months in, 9 months in September. So we got way over 50, maybe even closer to 100.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and some overseas international stuff too. Yeah, but for the life of me, I can't remember where I was this past weekend. Oh, I was in no, I wasn't there. Hartford. I was very lost. You see Raymond's pants over there. Everybody else can't see Raymond's pants, but you see Raymond's pants.
Raymond, come show them your pants. Come on, show them your pants.
See.
Slowly. All right, come on.
They're
do a little wraparound.
So I'm not sure what these things are, but I was at a place much like this, very confusing, at a retro Hartford retro something. It was video games, all video games. So I walk in there to go wrestle, and it's just people at long ass tables, look like they're a mile long, just playing video games. Like you couldn't play video games at home; they had to come to public and play. I'm not knocking them because there was like 500 people at the wrestling show, so that was great.
Yeah.
But and they understood wrestling, and they were like they were like Attitude Era fans and stuff like that. So it was cool, but I was so lost in there. But then I saw one section. Then I could relate to that one section. Because I was like, oh, I know that one, and I know that one. I knew like 2 games there. One was Pac-Man, and the other one was Centipede. And I was like, I know those games. Yeah, but that rest of that crap they were all playing, I don't know. It looked like some military stuff, Call of Duty looking things. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big video game girl.
But they were all, they were into it. You could have yelled at them and cussed and said bad things to get canceled, and nobody would have heard you. They were just like playing the video games. Do you play video games?
I don't. Never have. No? I swear. Yeah. I mean, I kind of wish sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't imagine you'd have the time to be where you are at 26 with your own business and entrepreneur and doing the things and finding time to wrestle too now. If you played a lot of video games, because it seems like people get lost in a little bit of I don't want to say a rabbit hole, but they go a direction with those games, and you just, that's it. That's their life.
Yeah, it's time consuming. But then you also look at the kids that are like 13 years old making like way more than a bunch of people just by playing video games and posting them on social media, and you're like, maybe
would that be the Twitch? Would that be the Twitch stuff? Because I think Miro does that. Like he used to play it.
They like live stream and
other guys
sponsorships, stuff like that.
Some guys will go find a random game that nobody plays or has twitched it yet, and then they'll just play the game online and make like $400 or something like that. Or something. I don't know.
At that point, it makes sense. But other than that, for fun,
I struggle.
I
struggle showing up here once a week, so I couldn't show up to a video monitor in my house and play a video game.
Yeah.
Unless it was Centipede or Pac-Man or something. I do have like an 80s little Miss Pac-Man game on my table that somebody had an 80s party, the guys that run Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, like an 80s party, and one of the little gifts was a little thing. So every once in a while I'll get bored and I'll pick that up, but I don't really have that much time to play video games. So, but yeah, it was great. Hartford, no flight delays. The flights were all smooth and groovy. The first time in a long while. Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was good. This weekend I'm heading out to. Oh yeah, Virginia, Norfolk, VCW, whatever that stands for, something championship wrestling. I don't know. Maybe it's
Virginia.
Vanguard Championship Wrestling. No, it's not Virginia.
It's not
but
Virginia. I was like,
I think,
maybe.
I think it's Vanguard or something. VCW. I don't know. So, Blake Chadwick's. Remember Blake? You know Blake. It was his. That's his where he started out at. Like
Okay.
Blake was. They gave him. He started there, and then Howard Brody, who passed away, who had women's Wild Women of Wrestling or Wild whatever it was, and he had the. He did some of the Ring Warriors, and he gave Blake his next big break and all that. That's why I think he's called Blake Howard now. It was a tribute to Howard Brody. So, yeah. So this is his old stomping ground. So I go see all his old friends where he started at. So it's cool. It's a relaxed, chill atmosphere. So it'll be easy weekend. Besides travel might be sketchy, but it's all.
Oh
it's
yeah,
all
the hurricane, right?
Well,
Something like that.
it's just weather in general lately. But that hurricane should be gone. But there is other storms out there. But that hurricane, it hit. It came in a direct hit where I used to live, Keaton Beach.
Oh, wow.
So I don't even think I have a storage there anymore. I know my stuff, all the little things like these action figures. I had stuff in storage, just things and gear and stuff. I don't know if it's there or not. I got to get up there. I haven't talked to my sister about the storage, but I know they had a tree through their roof. My niece had a tree through her roof. My brother had a tree on his semi truck cab.
Wow.
Crashed it because it came through there. It came Keaton Beach where I lived. They lived in Perry. And it hit Perry, then it went up through Madison where my brother lives and my aunt lives, and then it went to South Georgia where the rest of the Heath clan lives up there. So, but they're all safe. I don't know about the Georgia crew. I think they just got a lot of rain, but everybody in that direct of that 3 when it came on is safe. So.
Hopefully not too bad.
Yeah,
'cause,
so
I mean,
I was monitoring that most of the
Yeah.
morning yesterday and kept me occupied. Busy, more than a video game would have. But that's me. You got anything going on this weekend important?
I'm actually going to Bash this weekend.
What is Bash?
It's
It's like a Halloween Bash or Monster
Bash at the
or
Brew.
Bash beers.
a match. Gonna go watch some of our.
Bash at the Brew, where's that?
Yeah.
What is the Bash at the Brew?
It's an unbranded.
It's
Unbranded.
What company is that?
What was that?
What company is that? She thinks it's a trick question. It's a trick question.
Okay, are you asking me
CCW,
about,
yes.
I think you're asking me about the brewery. I'm like, it's unbranded.
Yeah, no, the brewery's unbranded. What company is
Yeah,
wrestling?
CCW. Yeah, CCW.
Okay.
Coastal
know what Bash
Championship
is?
Wrestling. Huh?
Do you know what number Bash it is?
Oh shoot, I
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
don't know.
I don't know. There's been a lot of them. But,
Yeah, but it'll be Saturday.
Are you in the student group?
Unbranded. Yes, I will
I'm gonna
be in there.
I'm gonna be exiting out of that student group. I cannot stand the traffic in there. I'm gonna be. If you see me disappear from there, I didn't disappear. I just disappeared out of that group. Too much goes on there. Too much hype, too much
Gangrel off the
gaga,
chat.
a lot of egos, and it's just a lot of.
I just look
shit.
out for the important stuff. The rest, I'm just kind
Yeah,
of.
but how do you find the important stuff through all the other shit? It's just, and then they start putting memes in, and then I mean, it's not been as bad lately as it has been before. But like, the only thing I want to bash is somebody's fucking head in that group. That's like, I'm sorry for cussing, but yeah. Yes, they're gonna be at the bash this weekend. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah,
be
that'd
good.
be nice to see everyone.
Raymond, have you been to a bash? Yeah, you went to the bash when the beer came out.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's an exciting show. It's a fun
Yeah.
show. That's September 2nd.
It is.
So if I don't know if this will be out by then. So if it is out by then, go to the bash, check it out. If you see Nikki Blackbird over there, go up there and say hello to her and chill out or whatever. They'll probably have her working, probably doing something, being she's a newer face on the block, a student, probably grabbing ring articles and taking it backstage or
Hopefully
something.
not the bell this time.
Not the bell. You had to carry. Oh, don't want to ring the bell. No, you want to move up. You want to ring the bell. The more you learn, you want to sit there. You want to sit. Let me tell you this. Anybody that's getting into wrestling and all that, you can't be afraid of. And I'm not saying you're afraid, but you can't be afraid of like failing. Because is it really failing if you're learning from it, or is it just a lesson, right?
That's
You
true.
gotta.
That's true.
You have to learn, right? Like not everybody just can wave a wand and go, "Hey, I know everything about professional wrestling, this, and that." But these like understanding the bell and angles and the referee's cues, and I believe the ref didn't signal you. I believe that. I believe Bruce Owens did not signal you. I think Bruce Owens forgot what's going on. I'm going to take your side out of just past experience. I'm going to believe that he didn't signal you. So, like, people probably lost what we were even talking about. But there's an instance where she was working the bell on a show at the CCW school. And Eddie Valentine lost his shit. because he runs that particular show most of the time with Alex Chamberlain, and
he does a great job.
He does a great job, and keeping all the mongrels in line, and that's the wrestling students, not the fans. We love you. We don't look at you like that. But the wrestling students, and but there was a thing with the bell. What happened with the bell? Maybe let me see if you learned from it. Why don't you explain what happened?
Yeah. So I mean, I was looking at the cue for the ref. Anytime he would go like this, I would ring the bell.
So what is this cue? What does that mean?
Like any time where there's already counted and the match is over.
Okay, so you're waiting for the ref to signal, ring the bell, either to start or ring the bell, the match is over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then on that one,
which is pretty straightforward, right?
I was just waiting, and I'm like, is it over? And then Eddie comes over. He's like, ring the bell. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Let me ask you this. Did the ref
no.
come to you and say, hey, I'm sorry that I didn't signal
No.
you? Or did he just let you take the browbeating?
I just took it because I'm like, I'm new.
You just took it. I know you took it. What did the ref do? I want to know if the ref came over and owned up to it, or he just let you take it.
I mean, I really didn't have any conversation with him afterwards. It was, kind of.
So you say he slid out the back door because he knew he didn't, and he just let you take the heat while he snuck out with the loot? He boot scoot boogied on you and left you standing there holding the bag,
Bruce,
guilty.
don't kill me. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm just trying to break it down. I don't know if everybody could picture what's going on. So she's very new to wrestling, as we learned on the last podcast. WrestleMania was the first live event in LA, and she wanted to become a professional wrestler, which is great. I wish wrestling influenced everybody like that, and we need more people watching wrestling and more fans. But she's actually talented and doing very well in wrestling school, so she's going to be an asset to pro wrestling. But you got to watch more wrestling. You got to watch a lot more wrestling.
Yes,
so we do student shows, and we have a wrestling school. CCW has a wrestling school, Coastal Championship Wrestling, and I'm the head trainer there. But hey, what is all that noise over there in the background? So being part of that, so I'm a trainer there. So a part of being a trainer and being a wrestling company, having a wrestling school, you got to have wrestling shows. The kids got to get experience, or the young ladies and men have to get experience somewhere. So with that being, they say Breakout is not a student show, but I beg to differ because they rob and pillage and rifle that show for the curtains and this and that. It becomes a bare bones student show at the end of the day if there's another show going on at CCW. Because CCW is blessed enough that they run sometimes 2 and 3 shows at different towns a night. Pin upon the importance of that other town, the Pompano facility becomes the lower end. And they deny that and say that's not the case, but it is the case. And but the student shows are going on, so then it became low on people to help, and a lot of the students are actually on this show that wouldn't be on the show, that would actually have other positions. So the newer people coming up, the Nikki Blackbirds and whoever, like Jonathan was supposed to be Loverboy or whatever, was supposed to be a referee, but he said, I don't know a referee. And yes, he's whatever, but he said he denied it, and that's why I think he's been hiding, because he got a lot of heat with me for lying about that the other day. But
I was there. I
he
saw that interaction.
Clearly lied. He clearly lied. He clearly lied and act like he didn't lie.
I saw the
but because he wanted to get into that battle royal, which is not my show. I wasn't running it as Eddie, the guy that ate you alive, with the voice, not physically. And Alex Chamberlain, but Alex and Eddie are both well versed at understand professional wrestling and been around the blocks. Been back in some. One's from Maine, one's in Pennsylvania. They bring a lot of that culture and their area down and their experience down here, and it blends, and it's a good vibe. So with that being said, you got to ring the bell duties, and that was your first time ringing the bell.
Yeah, very.
And not watching a whole lot of wrestling in your life. I could get that would be intimidating and very stressful, because I'm on time for everything, so I can only imagine going, did he signal me? Did he signal me? Did he signal me? Was that a signal in my head? I wouldn't have probably been out loud. I'd probably look like a statue, but those are the voices would have been rambling in my head. Oh my God, someone ringed about that. Is that the signal? No.
Yeah.
But you clearly got all the other signals right, except for that one.
Yeah. Everything else was fine. It was just that one, and
but,
of course it was Eddie's match too.
We'll see if you learned from it, because I don't know the match. So help me understand the match. So what was going on in the match that bell needed to be rang of that importance that it brought on that much tension from Mr. Valentine?
So I guess when he ended up and I might get these terms wrong, and again, I'm still learning. But it wasn't like a traditional, on the floor, like he didn't pin him, and there wasn't like a regular count. It was just more like, I think he like choked him out or
Was
something.
it disqualification? Or
I believe so.
So
yeah.
did he need the bell to be ringing so people would come in and people would know that it was over?
Yes, because like there was like an awkward, and I'll attest to what he was saying. There was an awkward pause, like no one, including myself, knew kind of what was going on. So we were all like silent, waiting, and
So
then
Eddie
when
was
it
choking
rang,
somebody?
yes, I believe
Okay.
so.
So we're not take all the magic away from pro wrestling, but so
I gotta recall
so the bad
that
guy
match, yeah.
was in there, who's running the show, is choked somebody out and is DQ'd by the referee, but there was no bell signaling the end of that match to give it a way to part, and so it was just an awkward silence there, and then but you were just waiting for the bell to ring because you didn't want to assume anything, and you were waiting for your signal.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is assume, and
Okay.
and then
So
it
what
would've
would
been
you
way
do
worse.
now in that same situation?
So I mean, moving forward,
Would you ring the bell and go, I'll just ask for forgiveness later, and after being yelled at this time, or what would you do?
I would have probably just like try to pay attention a little bit more to not just like just like look more for like body language instead of just waiting there and assume that something's going to happen or wait on the ref to kind of like signal me. Just more like really pay attention to their faces, or like, because everyone will kind of like signal you in if something's going on. Eddie would have definitely been like,
All right. Let me ask you this. This is a big deciding factor to me.
Oh gosh, I feel like I'm in court.
Did Eddie or anybody from that match come up to you and then tell you how that was going to go down at the end?
No.
There it is. You're off the hook. Something of that importance was somebody that knew over there. I would have went over there. Now let me ask you, you rang the bell on my match.
I did.
Did it? Now, did I come out to you and go, hey, do not ring that bell until I get in the ring?
You did.
So you clearly would understand what was going on, because I clearly knew that you never rang a bell before or been in that position.
Yeah, which I.
So did you get yelled at after my match?
No.
No, because you knew when to ring the bell. Okay. You're actually cleared on that court case now that we've worked through that. Yeah.
Sweating.
We might have to take Eddie Valentine to the wrestlers' court that Raymond's asked about so many times.
He's gonna get
there might be a
subpoenaed.
case in there, but you can't bring it up. It'd have to be me, an older guy, to bring it up. But Eddie
gosh,
helped so
no.
much, and he was so he's so
No,
passionate.
he's
I
so
don't-
great.
There
He's
might be
so
one of those
great.
ones that the judge is like, I'm gonna drink my vodka and have a blind eye.
No, he's.
No, it's not vodka. This is actually Dunkin' Donuts coffee, because Raymond blocked it out, but he ain't gonna edit it out either. Like, this, whatever he did to my cup,
Painter's tape.
he molested and violated my cup. I think my cup is gonna take a kneel now on you, Raymond. You like
Oh,
what you've
gosh.
done to it?
It looks cool now.
No, it doesn't. It looks
Okay.
whatever. You.
It's retro.
Still tastes like.
Reminds me of the movie Steven Seagal, Marked for Death. You came over and just like, you never even watched that because you don't watch Steven Seagal movies, but you probably do.
Probably.
Good gracious, nobody watched Steven Seagal. So. They marked him for death. Never mind. But okay, cool. So enough of my gaga rambling on. Enough of me putting you through the grill.
Jeez.
Clearly, I wasn't exposing you that you didn't know anything about wrestling. I was just. I just really was trying to get to the bottom of that, because I know I've attempted to get to the bottom of it, but when you think about it, you're in the wrong in a sense that you haven't watched enough wrestling or understand wrestling, and in a sense that, but that's not really wrong, because nobody also came to you and explained to you what was going to go on at the end, knowing that you knew. But they were wearing a lot of hats that day, and there was a lot going on. I wasn't wearing those hats. I chose not to wear those hats that day, even though they tried to get me to wear them. I was like, nope, I'm just wrestling, and I'm leaving right after my match. I got an early morning flight. So I was thinking on a different level to go, hey, Nikki over there, she's not rung the bell before. Like, I don't want her ringing the bell while I'm getting jumped outside and put in a pole, assuming the match starts, when the match doesn't start until both opponents are in the ring. So I went over there and explained it to you. It's probably what should have, in a perfect world, happened. But in a perfect world, you would also understand a lot more about wrestling. But I always teach you in class never to assume anything either. So you could never feel bad to ask, hey, what's going on at the end? When should I do this too? Even though they didn't tell you anything about the end. But better safe than sorry sometimes in situations like that.
Oh,
But
100%.
but
I learned.
again, you learned, right? Key word, that L word. What's that L word?
Learned.
Exactly. Right. It's no fails or anything. You know, you fall down, you get up. You make mistakes, but did you learn from them? They just become lessons then. It's just lessons. It's lessons. Some lessons come across a little harsher than others. You're like, woo, could did without that drama, but woo, deep essential.
They, you know, when I went back there, they explained what had happened, and it was Alex also took the time to be like, you know,
I think Joe probably messed up in the match too, and you probably got some of Joe's heat too. Joe goes off the reservation.
I have no clue.
Joe was convinced. You know, Joe came up to me and said, I was leaving Tuesday night, and he goes, I think everybody wants me to fail. I think everybody loves Joe, so we got to worry about Joe. We got to keep an eye on Joe. Like,
he's
he needs a little extra motivation or a hug here and there. I'm not saying go hug the kid because you might get another stock. But you're already shaking one with the FBI's help. But like, ooh, that's why she flags that big thing out there, guys. Notice that. She says, leave her alone. All right, so stalkers. Are us.
Yeah, stay away from me.
Just gonna report you.
And Coach might choke you out. You don't want that. He's really strong.
Well.
Okay.
The heat in here because Raymond's trying to sweat us out again. I put shorts on and everything, but I guess I'm just sitting in the hot seat. But we rambled on enough about nothing, I suppose. So we better move on to what's happening. I know Raymond sent you notes because he tries to be like, what do they call him, a producer or something over there and stuff. I never look at him, but I'm sure he sent them to you too. If I got him, I'm sure you got him. So like, what do you got going on? What's cooking in Raymond's world? And what does he feel is of importance right now?
I mean, not to change the note that we were going on, but obviously a lot has been happening in wrestling. Unfortunately, not everything is always great and rainbows and unicorns. So we did experience another great loss in wrestling. So Wyndham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt, passed about, last Thursday? He was 36 years old, which, we say old, but really young. I guess a heart attack. He was supposed to be using a defibrillator or something, ended up not really wearing it at the time when he needed it, and then unfortunately ended up passing away. So I know he was a big creative mind. A lot of people, especially for my generation, a lot of us actually follow what he's been doing, and we're excited to see where he would have gone.
His father's Blackjack Mulligan, his uncle's Barry Windham and Kendall Windham, his dad's Mike Rotundo, Mr. IRS himself, or he was better than Mike Rotundo when he tagged with Barry Windham, or Mike Rotundo on the Varsity Club. Those are all great years. But then later on, IRS, as everybody knows him, and then there was he Husky Harris when he came in NXT, Bray Wyatt, and then on to something else. Then Bray Wyatt, then The Fiend, and then back towards Bray Wyatt at the end, battling with his alter ego, The Fiend. Sad. I seen him this January. I saw him at the PC. He was coming back. He was getting ready for the match with the Rock now, the Rock guy, LA Knight, that does like the Rock Stone Cold mix. Kind of, he took his own vibe on it. And he's patterned the stuff after, which is cool. He's getting over, like, proves stuff. What's old is new, and then what can work again. What once was will be again, and or whatever, all that kind of. There's nothing new in wrestling. The only thing is forgotten, right? So, but he was going in there to work that Mountain Dew match out or whatever it was they were doing with the Uncle Howdies and all that stuff, and he was upbeat. I talked to him. It was good to see him. He's always asking for advice. He's always trying to pick the mind because of course wrestling's a vampire and stuff, and he's into the horror stuff, and I'm sure he was picking Taker's mind, and I heard Taker pass the torch to him at one point. Then he was asking me about my boots, and I told him how to do the boots because he couldn't figure it out. His whole run is The Fiend. He couldn't figure out the boots, my boots, which super simple, and I figured mine out by accident, but I explained it to him, and he just sat there in shock going, really? Because he was literally his casual boots that he had on for his daily use. I go, he's like, what do you do for your boots? Where do you get your boots? This and that. And I go, what are you wearing? He goes, New Rocks. He goes, no. I go, yeah. And then I told him what I did, and I went to a Renaissance festival, and then I got the leather piece to go. Oh, he's like, no. And then I showed him. He goes, oh. He's like, his mind was blown. Like, it was that simple. Like,
mind blown, yeah.
Because I've told the story many times where, excuse me, I think Raymond he's like Suge Knight. He sent a mosquito to bite me and kill me or something over here, like conspiracy stuff over here. Like, yeah, this is why I'm easy, you know, like that's why I did the Gangrel. I think Raymond's putting some stuff on me. Came through that door over there, that front door. I felt the sting. Not right.
Oh God.
But I was explained a lot of times and. How I came out with my gear. I went into Hot Topics and then Journey next door. Got the boots, but it's a terrible loss at 36, and it makes you wonder. You got to sit back. And you think, the other fellow out of the Wyatt family passed away too with sudden illnesses. You don't know, and then you got to. They said this was COVID related, and then I've heard other rumors that it was COVID, but it was the shot. And then stuff like I got another shot, and then complications came from that. But I don't know what's true. So, what stories I see printed out there with my own eyes says he had COVID and it exposed some kind of heart defect or something, and he was supposed to be wearing some kind of thing,
defibrillator.
Yeah, whatever that's called to help. And he had an appointment that day, but he didn't have it on. I mean, that's whatever it may be. It's just a terrible, terrible, sad loss. A very creative guy, very humble, very giving, very. I've never seen him not smile when I've seen him. He's like, "Oh, Gangrel, you got to come work out with me." But the office would always cut me off. Somebody there would always get in between us because that was like the second time I ran into him at the PC. Once was a year earlier or two or something, and they did the same thing. They kind of cut me away. He was going back to do something like they just weird company. But yeah, he was a great guy though, and it was a really, really, really sad loss there. Yeah, so thoughts out with his family. I mean, he's got like 3 or 4 kids, and just his brothers, his mom, dad. Great people. So terrible loss.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. Well, yeah, thoughts and prayers to all the family and also the fans. We grew up watching these guys, and we believe that we know them, and we feel for them whenever bad things end up happening. So
I think you saw how can the Fiend, how can a monster die?
Yeah,
we're all human in the end, I suppose.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's very sad.
That's
very
for
sad.
Sure.
Makes me feel like I'm taking 55 coming up as vampire.
No.
Trying to convince the world I'm a vampire, but scary.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, some people that live out to be 100 years old, and some
this cat.
don't even make it that far.
To be fair,
not this guy.
To be fair, I didn't think I would, make it to 30 at the lifestyles and stuff that I had going on, and then 30 came, and then I was like, surely 31, I won't make it. Then 35 came, then 40, and when 50 hit, I said, maybe I need to slow down, like reevaluate things, because obviously I'm going to be here. Now I'm in a mad scramble to fix shit, like get insurance and pay my taxes and stuff that I was like, I ain't going to be here next year. I ain't paying that.
What is adulting?
F the government. Rock and roll, baby. I'm actually got to answer all that. I could have stayed off the grid, but my wife actually forced me back on the grid. You got that Jimmy knee, that crooked leg, and you need to get that fixed and this fixed. And that was 2 years ago. I went back on the grid, and I still ain't got it fixed. So, I have insurance, for the record. I have to now and all that, but I just, I only get one. It was one of those things that I went to go get it looked at, right? As soon as I got the insurance, I marched in there. Yeah. What do you mean $2,000 copay for MRI? Whatever. What is this copay shit? Like, what is this? This is government conspiracy, But I get it looked at, and the guy goes, well, you don't have any ACL or PCL. He says it's absorbed into your body. When did you hurt your knee? I go, I don't know. A lot of times.
When in my career,
I said, but 5 years ago, I was in a hotel room, and I went to get up to change the remote, and it popped, and I fell down, and then I just got up and I wrapped it up. He says, "What'd you do after that?" I said, "Wrestled." I did TVs. I wrestled. I had 3 shows in a row, and then I went down to Vegas and did 2 more shows because they had 2 TVs going, this company, and he was like, "Nothing? You didn't read it?" "No." I said, "I just wrapped it." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, so they wanted me, they did the MRI, and they couldn't see it, and then he says, "Bone on bone," and now I'm bow-legged, and he says, "You definitely need a knee replacement," and he goes, "But here's the thing, is you're only going to get 1 knee replacement." So I guess most humans can get 2 or at least 2.
Okay.
But the bone underneath where the knee sits down on, where they would have to reattach it to, is crumbled too. It's broken. So he said it's taking a pounding from just pounding. So I only get 1. So he's saying you have to retire if you do it, because he goes, if you mess it up, you're gonna be crippled. We can't fix you. You know, there's no adjustments or nothing. You're to the max already. So he said you walked in here, and I don't know how. He says, I'm sure you can walk on out. He didn't use the words fanging and banging, but I'll say he went and said you could be fanging and banging. he said go do your thing until you can't walk no more, and then roll back when you're ready. So,
Oh gosh.
so that's what I'm doing, right? And that's why I think I keep getting every class, and like every week it looks like I'm walking more like I just got off a horse, like cowboy leg is the PT Randy over at Dr. Silva's office in Deerfield. Randy's a magician. He can go in there and like literally can't stand up, crippled in like 10 minutes. You walk out of there like jumping jacks, but 30 minutes later it comes back. You know, like, so you got to go back in again and again. I think he's like a drug dealer or something. Drug dealer with your body. I'll get you right, but you got to come back. You see me. He just gives you that 1 for free, 2 for free, and he's like, come see daddy. You want to walk? You know, but he does this. He does a lot of magical things with muscle. I call him the muscle whisperer. And I'll be hurting I promise you, I'll be like, my knee hurts here, and he does something up here, and my knee quits hurting over here. No, really, it's crazy. Like, he's the whisper, man. I don't know, body whisperer. But yeah, he does amazing stuff. So yeah, if you're in the Deerfield Beach area, 1100 South Federal Highway, Dr. Silva's office, just ask for Randy. He'll get you straight.
Awesome.
Raymond, I'm pouring over here. Oh no. Nelly must be watching a thing. He heard me talking shit about that student group and blowing my stuff off. What's Nelly on there? Telling Nicole to push tickets.
Well, when this comes out, what's the next one going to be? What's after that?
I don't know. He's actually, I don't know what where are we at now? The knee?
Okay.
Or what are we talking about? What's the next one going to be? The shows or what?
Yeah. So.
Or you push the tickets? Push the tickets?
I'm dropping this one.
He said something about flyers,
Tomorrow.
man. He's saying,
Okay, I got you guys. So.
oh, he's talking about, I don't know, man. This is all
Is
this
this like a quick promo?
He's saying we need athletes in the school.
You need what?
We need athletes. More people like you.
Okay, I gotta get back to that athletic build again. I'm getting
Raymond's
there.
over there flexing. All right, so yeah, unfortunately, yeah, not to take from the sadder moment, but yeah, blessings and prayers to his family, and it's a shock to the rest of the community. Terry Funk, then Bray Wyatt, and then yeah, it's always Terry Funk was expected, but Bray Wyatt at 36 is a tough one. But again, prayers to and thoughts with their families and friends and coworkers.
Absolutely, very sad loss. Yeah, so the next thing, just kind of want to go over. So AEW held its annual All-In PPV in London at the Wembley Stadium.
AEW had their All-In PP? Is that what you were
it's
saying?
like All-In PPV. So they claimed that All-In, they had their record for the most paid attendance of all time with 81,035 paid fans.
And this is Wembley?
Yeah.
This is Wembley? Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the new Wembley, not the old Wembley where... Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So does this new record prove that AEW is in competition with WWE?
That's such a tricky question. It's not. No. Yeah.
He's
no.
gonna tread very lightly here.
No. It's great. I've spent 18 straight years going to England, and I support Everton. It's my football club over there.
Okay.
I'm very diverse in that culture, and I'm not gonna say I don't live there, but I get along well there, and I could live there, and I'm fine in that culture. They're very so. They're there. They ran Wembley, but that's the new Wembley. I think it's not. It's got more seats now in it, and there's more options. But yeah, they broke that record. But are they in competition? No. If they were to go back and run Wembley in 2 months, they wouldn't have that number. Maybe in 6 months or a year if they ran it again. But that's the only shows they do in Europe. But if they were to go run other house shows and run Cardiff and run other places like that, go down and run, the U2 Arena. And different things, they wouldn't draw that because they're doing one show. Those fans will come out and support. They're very loyal fans, and they may not know, like you go there, they'll say, oh, yeah, we're going to go. But I don't think AEW I don't know. I don't follow it much, but I don't think they announced a return. We're coming back in 2 months, or we're going to be over here at the U2 in 3.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're just coming with one mega show. So sure, I mean, people are going to get in from France and Germany and wherever.
Right,
They're going to
right.
take the tubes, the trains, and they're going to go buy that ticket and see it because they don't, for one, know how much longer that's going to last. Two, it might be the only time it's, that same thing, It's the only time it's going to be there. They're not announcing that they're coming back anytime soon.
Like
So
the fear of missing out.
so yeah, they're loyal. They're going to go and they're going to support. They'll be like, hey, they'll do the same thing for Kiss, but Kiss could play multiple towns and still sell out that. But setting an attendance record, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. It's good. And yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they did that, and I don't doubt that they could do it again in a year if they don't come back and run other towns there. This is to see. But I don't think that says they're in competition with WWE. I don't know what competition there is. There's WWE and there's AEW. AEW is a totally different brand, total style of wrestling, blah, blah, blah. WWE, I'm so old school. WWE is a well-oiled machine that is well into their system, and now who knows what's going on there now. I heard things are changing like crazy with the sale and all that. So who knows what's going to go down by March when everything's complete there. But they have been consistent year in and year out, day in and day out, every minute for minute. There's no wasted movements there. No wasted movements, no chaos, no conflict. If there is, it's well controlled because I know they get their head chopped or they're sent away.
They don't do that.
It was crazy. So but yeah, no, and I don't mean that. And then I'm not, again, and I feel like I'm always backpedaling and trying to be political, but I'm not knocking AEW. Fuck, I'd go wrestle there if they bring me in. I'm not, I'm not knocking it. Look, it's an opportunity. It can help people make more money. It can have competitive wages.
Absolutely.
Because you get some competition and job wise. But I think it's two totally different beasts. It's wrestling, but it's just two different entities. It's just how do you really compete? Like if you really were to add up the real numbers to everything and lay them out there, how do you compete with something that's been existing for so many years and so successful for so long? You have to build and grow to that But building and growing to that is not going to happen if you don't get control of that shit. Because this is crazy stuff I heard, the CM Punk and Luke Perry's kid, Jack Perry.
That was actually the next thing we were going to get into. What's your thoughts on that? They had a backstage altercation.
Backstage altercation. Well, I've been you can't help but I go to watch wrestling or something on YouTube when I do cardio. So there's any given day between 30 to 60 minutes, I'm going to be pedaling my crippled ass on a bicycle trying to do cardio. Well, I'm guaranteed to watch wrestling or whatever pops up in my YouTube feed. It's the YouTube fanatic on YouTube, right? And it has been nothing but CM Punk and Jack Perry and AEW Collision and this whole Glass thing. The young blood wants to go through Glass. Let him hurt his fucking self. I don't know, but I mean but I get the safety things to it too. It's just why risk your talent and hurt him on CM Punk's behalf. But I don't know if he's just being mean and just trying to be control freak on his show. But when he leads up to the whatever, the shoving and the choke, who knows what really happened? There's so many versions. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know if CM Punk. So apparently, do you know? You want me to explain what happened? Do you know what how it went down?
I mean, I for those that haven't kept up, it would be a good opportunity for you to kind of...
Well, I'm going off memory from the stuff I've heard on YouTube. So it's just an old man's memory, an old rickety-rackety vampire with dust coming out his ears and ass. All right, so...
Don't sue him. Don't sue him or cancel him. It's his opinion.
So, I'm just going on by memory of what I've read or heard. I don't read a lot, so it's what I've heard on YouTube. So, I guess...
It's don't sue him.
I guess CM Punk is a lot of control or all the control of the Saturday show. But there was something where Jack Perry wanted to do something, but he wanted to use real glass. I'm not sure what it was exactly. CM Punk said no. Also, advised the same thing from Tony Schiavone and some other production people. And I guess it was a rift. No fight or anything, but whatever. It was Jack Perry was upset or something. Pretty much probably thought to himself, fuck this old guy. He doesn't know what's up with the future. We're the future. But which I get that too. There's a lot of sides to look at it. You can easily sit there and go, hey man, these old dudes are holding it back because, for an example, and I took it and I didn't say anything. So it's a different generation now. They say some shit, you know. So when I went to WWE and I was working Edge, WWF, we'd have matches on house shows, and the agents would come back and go, "Oh, you got to stop that. You got to take that suplex out. And you got to do this, and you only got to do that, and you got to do that." And I go, "Why?" They go, "Oh." And one of them said, "Hey, the main events are getting upset and this and that because basically you're outstage them." So they sat there and picked away every bit of offense I got, and then their biggest argument when they let me go, besides my injuries, was he has no offense. They took every offense away. But I took it instead of saying, "No, fuck you. I'm gonna go out there and do my thing." I went along with the program, and that didn't work for me, right? So maybe that's what they feel is happening, and they're just standing up for themselves. So who knows? So I can see both sides. I honestly can see both arguments at the same time. I see the safety argument. Like, what moron wants to go through glass and risk tearing an artery or something? And costing the company money in the long run, medical this, and then paying them to sit home. And I get that side too. I see both sides. But apparently they left. And then I guess it comes to pay-per-view or not pay-per-view, whatever it was in Wembley. And I wasn't there and I haven't watched it and I don't know it. I mean, I do talk to Miro, but I didn't ask him about it. He just told me, "Oh, it's all bullshit. Everything's bullshit. Everything you hear is bullshit." That's all he said. Miro, he said everything's bullshit. Yeah, I go because I joked. I said, "Don't get choked out by CM Punk." He just laughed. like can't believe everything you hear. So, but I think they're just like friends. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even ask him really. You know, I just made a joke. You know, like so. But I guess Jack Perry's on the pre-show at Wembley. Said something to the effect. I don't know the exact words. I'm doing it by memory. Just real glass. So cry a river or something. Go cry a river or something like that. So
like, it's real glass. What was it, like? Bury me a river? Is that what he said?
Cry me a river. Yeah. So I guess that happened prior.
I was like,
at the ending of the pre-show.
This is what it says here, by the way. I'm like, what?
So that happened at the end of the pre-show, and then CM Punk was the first match with Samoa Joe, as I read in her, and I guess it was I don't know who confronted who, whatever. Eventually, it ended up apparently with CM Punk in a chokehold. I don't know what type of chokehold. I don't know if it was a Darth or a front face lock or a rear naked. I don't know. So
I think that leads to the next question, though. So,
but
yeah, who has the final say on what you can and can't do?
Well, this is what I'm getting to. Like what I'm saying that like when we've gone back to talking about competition, and I go, that's not really, but somebody's got to get control of things, man. Somebody's got to go, and that somebody's Tony Khan, because every final say so and everything that happened, Vince McMahon was the final say so on everything. Like the head, it stopped, started. It didn't go past him. If he didn't want it to happen, it didn't happen. If he wanted to, so you got to rewind this back, and and I've said it many times on here that like there's just way too much shit going on in the locker rooms and amongst the talent and stuff in AEW. You got to take control. Tony Khan, bless his heart. I mean, I don't think he has experience in this shit. This is like a bunch of high school, like grown ass men, fighting amongst things when you're trying to make money. And all he's trying to do is make everybody happy and like have a really fun. Like he's like trying to present wrestling in a different way. Hey, this is wrestling. It should be fun. You should be able to have the style of matches that you're suited for, or you choose
basically what you tell us at practice also.
Choose to have, yeah. But then, so it's not the WWE system. You're not being told exactly how to have your matches. You have all this creatively free will, but at the same time,
can be good and bad.
Yes, it's like you're giving all these people this. They got a false sense of like, I'm running shit. Like, no, I'm not doing that, and this and this and that. But these guys take control and say, ultimately, yes, I'm giving you free will, but there's a cap on it, and I have the last say on this shit. And he's got to stand up and do that. So he's got to sit them down, and I don't know why he hasn't. He's got to sit them down and go, bro, like. You just signed you a bunch of the Young Bucks, the Elite, and these guys, all this, and CM Punk, you guys got to do business, I'm giving you all this money, you're making money, you're doing this and this and that. All I ask you to do is to sit down and do business. You're not always you're gonna have to wrestle people, you're gonna have to work people as you go through just the school, and as you move up there, you might not really like, but It's what you got to do because it's part of the do business to be
Life.
part of that company. You got to get there to get to the bigger picture where everybody makes money, the company's successful. You grow in the ratings, you keep growing in the ratings, and then you're competing. Then AEW is competing. But with chaos within, you're never going to grow to be able to compete with a machine.
No,
Like, they're a
not at
machine.
all.
WWE
No.
is a fucking war machine. Black Sabbath sang about them. You know, it's a war machine.
Yeah.
AC/DC war machine. Like, they're down here, and they could be if they would. But Tony Khan's got to take control and really sit down, and you don't have to fire everybody. You can just fine everybody, and then get them all on the same page, and then he can lift the fines if they get on the same page or whatever. I mean, but it's got to get some kind of control. There's got to be. People have to answer for their chaos. You can't just have chaos, and that's why. I mean, but it is a totally different product. We'll go back to the competition thing that we were talking about and the numbers and stuff like that. I don't think it's competition in a sense like that. It won't be for a long time, but it will never get there if they don't get in-house under control.
Yeah.
That's all. And I like AEW, and I like a lot of the styles, and I like a lot of people that are there. I'm friends with the Young Bucks. I'm friends with Matt Hardy. I'm friends with Jeff. I train Miro, you know.
Yeah.
I like CM Punk, and I get along with him. He's so nice to me. When I went back to go do the thing, he's the first one to hug me at AEW and made me feel welcome there. So, like, you know, how can you dislike that? I mean, just because they don't get along, I don't know. But I see both sides. I get this training in the school with all the young. I see how the generational and the movement and how things are swinging, and I get it all. I see both sides, and I came in through wrestling in many different generations, like very old school, this, and then I was like one of the ones pushing the boundaries, doing a vampire thing. Like, you're like, what the flip you're doing a vampire? You know, imagine how they looked at that. I looked at it much like they did the flipping and all the other stuff that you see now, different high spots and matches with all these sequences in them and stuff. So I see both sides. I get both sides, but somebody's just got to be able to hone that all in and say, listen, you know, can we all just get along?
I like that. So talking about that, were you ever in any non-scripted altercations? And if you were, how did WWE handle it?
What are you talking about?
Like, did
Non-scripted.
Meaning
Like fights? Yeah, I think I've talked about it on here before. There was the Mark Merrill thing, right? It didn't come down to a fight. He didn't want to fight me, and no, yeah, no. Yes. How did they handle it? They said they were going to find me. So no, I think I've talked about it on here. No.
So just commit. Just
well,
say
I
it,
mean,
say
I can
it.
tell it again briefly, but I hate to beat a dead horse over and over.
No,
but
of course,
but there was Luna. I was married to Luna. Luna was working a program with Sable. I hung out with Stephanie McMahon a lot, so I was having lunch with Stephanie. The door swings open, or the door comes in. Mark Merrill and Sable sit down next to Stephanie, which is very weird. We're having lunch and catering. I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. But then the door like flies open really crazy, and Luna comes in, and all her terror and insanity, and starts cutting a promo on Mark Merrill saying, I would never hurt Sable in the match, but blah, 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 but I'll bite a chunk out of your face before you knock me out, you pussy, blah, 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 blah. And she went to go jump on Mark Merrill, and Shane McMahon grabbed Luna and drug Luna out. And I was like, ooh, awkward. You know, I go, now I know why they sat there, like, because they knew that was coming. So, you know, I got to take awkward bite of my lunch. And Mark Merrill starts talking shit, you know, and like, blah, 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 you don't think I pay my dues? But, well, no, he didn't get to that part yet. I'm sorry. He said, you see what I got to deal with. And I believe he used either the T word or the C word towards Luna, like that effing or whatever. And then I remember having to put my food and fork down, especially my fork, so I wouldn't stab him in the throat with it. And then I go, listen, you came in here, you know, basically I said you sat by here knowing that there was a whirlwind of shit coming because you guys can't get along and blah, blah, blah. You should just, but don't say that about, you know, my wife. I mean, Andre,
in front of me.
I can't let you say that. You know, you want to go tell her that. Why did you tell her that? You know, like, basically whatever. But then he started cutting back and forth, saying we were trained by the same person. I have no respect for him. Blah blah blah. He'll beat my ass. So then I lost my temper, and then, like, I only get in fights when I'm sick. when I'm not feeling good. That's the only time I snap. Other than that, I'm just like, whatever.
Interesting.
Man. Get out, yeah. But if I'm under the weather, I snap. Like I'm just not very good at being sick. And I had the flu. And if I remember right, I might even had the diarrhea. It was bad. It was a bad day, and I was not feeling good. But I was just getting through it because you can't. There's no days off there. You work. Oh, I'm missing a toe. Well, can you make it out to the ring? Or you got diarrhea, or you're sick, or you got food poisoning, or what? No, you go. You go, or somebody else takes your spot too. Back then, it's different now, different world now. But back then, that was the situation. So, but I wasn't feeling good, and then he started with all that, and then I got really upset because he basically said he would beat me up, and I was like, come on,
Yeah.
So he wouldn't get up. I flipped the catering. Stephanie moved, and I flipped the catering table thing, and I was coming around, and a lot of the people laughed because they said everybody just kind of lined the walls up in catering. They just wanted to see him get beat up. I guess he had so much heat. And then I came out and was like, come on. He goes, I'm not fighting you. And then he put his hands under the chair, and I was like, well, I'm fighting you. And then I went, and rest in peace, another brother we lost just not too long ago, Draws, grabbed me, Darren Draws-off. He grabbed me as I was coming to punch him. I said, I'm fighting you. And he drugged me. So first you seen Luna drug out by Shane. And you see Darren Draws like, fuck you, motherfucker. And and then I'm looking over, and meanwhile, Godfather, Papa Shango Godfather, is sitting with Vince McMahon. We're just like, yeah, I see that. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm fired. So I think I'm fired. I'm like, whatever. And I get out there, and they go, oh, Vince wants to see you in his office. And I didn't see Luna or them anymore, like at that point. I don't know where. I was like, where they're at, but I'm like, I don't care. Done anyways. I'm not feeling good. So when you're not feeling good, I'm like, yeah, fire.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing fire me, he's fucking asshole and whatever. So I go into his office, and then Luna's sitting in there, and Sable and Mark are sitting in there. Vince isn't in there yet, but the only seat left is at a desk where Vince would be sitting. It's his office at the TV. So I sat down in it, and I said, well, if I'm going to get fired, I got to go out with style. I put my feet up on the desk. I leaned back. And he walked in, and I started laughing. And he looked at me, and I started laughing. And he goes, I'm glad. I wish we could all find the humor in this. Can you explain to me why you're laughing? And I said, they got me. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, they just drugged me into it. I got to hear her cry about this shit on the road every night. And these people dragging me out. They drugged me into it. He goes, yes, they did. And he goes, if you hit them, you're fired. Get out of my office. And he kept them in there and fined them and everything. So I didn't get fined or anything for that. He just told me to go. Get out of it. Don't hit him. If I hit him, I get fired.
God.
That was it. No, he knew they drugged me in. They all drugged me in. I don't do domestic. I don't do drama like that. That's too much.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling good that day, or I probably could have overlooked it somehow and found a better route. But when I'm not feeling good, I tend to, I'm a little bit snappy. A little snappy. If you could tell this week at the school, I hadn't been feeling so well.
That's how I was like, that's good to know now, because now I know when to be on my best behavior, which is always, but I mean, you know what I mean.
She just sent me a text going, hey, how you feeling this week? Well, I'm not going to class. This guy, he doesn't know how to stay away. He's going to give everybody the Rona. Which is coming back. I think Raymond's behind that.
Oh, boy.
I hear the COVID's coming back everywhere now.
I hope not.
That's what it seems like. Seems like all the students, I'll ask them where you've been for, I was sick, and a couple of them said they had COVID.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's always scary when you're, so close to everybody.
You're rolling in their sweat. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you might as well be making out with them, like your sweat's dripping in your eyeballs and your mouth. And,
yeah.
And there's some sweaty dudes in there, and you sweat too.
I'm pretty sweaty. Too. I'm pretty sweaty. Yeah.
She does sweat. I mean, I always go to grab a girl to show something usually in class because I think they're gonna be sweating the least, and I'll be like, I get all wet. No,
I mean hormones, man. It's like so, you're always sweating.
I try to. I end up. Meadows been sweating a lot too lately, but sometimes I'll grab him because he's learned to
it's just hot in the school.
He's learned to avoid sweating sometimes. I don't know what's going on with him. He's getting very crafty. I noticed he's picking.
How do you avoid sweating? I want to know.
Well, he avoids the drill somehow. He gets busy all of a sudden, or comes around, or all of a sudden he helps somebody. He's over there helping somebody. He doesn't think I notice these things, and he goes, "No, coach, I want to try." No. But I'm noticing. When you're not sweating in there, that tells me you're up to no good. You're not working.
Well, I'm always drenched. By the time we're done, by 8 o'clock, my shirt, I could literally go like this and stuff would come out for sure.
Is it clean stuff? What stuff's coming out of her shirt?
Sweat. A bunch of sweat. It's so hot in there. Okay.
It's hot in here though, isn't it?
It's not. It's
Man,
not
you
bad.
do aim to
Not
vent to
bad.
her. It used to be cool, and you know what I mean. And then when she's here now, it's like hot. Like, all right, whatever. I get it, Raymond. It's all conspiracy to drive me insane and convince me that government you're talking about is coming for me. I don't even think people even watch that podcast. I don't even think they liked it, Raymond. They were like, "What are they talking about? They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs."
The government blocked it, of course.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
All right. What else you got? What else did Raymond send you there
last
before we run out of
thing,
time? Because the time's clicking on here.
We have a few minutes. So, we just wanted. I know you talked about this before the cameras were on, but the update on Edge's retirement, he did mention that he didn't know what weight he was leaning on. So
Right. So I didn't know Raymond put a clip of the podcast that's coming out today. Raymond?
Oh, it's already out.
Oh, it's already out. The one with her?
Yes.
That's where we talked about Edge.
Yeah.
So he put a
Yeah.
clip out though last week or earlier in the week or something in some janky ass site or something. They go pull it, and they always try to twist your words like I was burying CM Punk or something like. But then I listened to the clip he put out, and I go, oh, it was exactly what Edge said in his own little release. Like, when did he put that out? Yesterday or 2 days ago?
Put it out like the day after I posted the clip.
Oh, really? Like, so everything that I said was basically what Edge said. But somewhere somebody found in that brief little thing, they couldn't take the negative that I referenced AEW as a cow pasture. I could have seen the negative in that, but they didn't say that. It was crazy, man.
definitely manipulated.
Edge's retirement, so I'm glad he put that statement out there because he's such a good guy, and he would put that statement out because he is the kind of guy that wouldn't want people to think that about him if that's that what he's doing, and he clearly made it sound as though he sounded like a guy that doesn't know. He has an option. I'm sure WWE's there for life for him in one way or another, in some type of form or fashion, even if it's just a WrestleMania here and there and Hall of Fame appearances or whatever he really wants, to be honest. But he's really a family guy, and he really cares about his family. So,
that's important.
And then he came out, and that's pretty much what I think he said. I saw the video. I just don't remember it verbatim. Is that a word? Is that a real word?
Yeah, verbatim.
Yeah, I got it right. Look at that. Go Deerfield Bucks. I'm happy for him, man. I still, if he goes to AEW, that's fine too. I get it. If you want to go make some money, maybe you got something still to prove. But I don't think he has anything to prove. Like, he's come back. He had a great match in Toronto with Sheamus, and it's where he's from. Well, outside of Toronto, Orangeville, or wherever. And the only thing that could be bigger than that would be WrestleMania there. The right settings and stuff like that. So, I just picture him being like, he started there, he's come up there, his wife's been there 20 years, he's been there 25 years. Why wouldn't he stay there? But I don't think they need the money. I don't think anybody, I don't even think Christian needed it. I think Christian he went because he still wanted to wrestle, I think. He still had things to do in life, Edge was always getting that bigger thing. So Christian probably wanted to, do his thing. And they're like best friends. So, but I still think he just had more stuff he still wanted to do, where I think Edge is more well-rounded with his wife being there and all that, and just he's more settled in there. But could be wrong, and if I am, it's cool too. I mean, always good to see him wrestle, and maybe he could pass some knowledge on to these younger guys. And what I was saying, I don't want them to look at him like CM Punk, because I just don't want people. I don't want to be like. It seems like some of this generation just doesn't want to hear the older guy stuff, and the older guy has to maybe give in on what he believes works and not even be real about it. Go, yeah, that's kind of cool, when they're probably deep down going, that makes no flipping sense, But there's always a middle point and make people happy, and I think all those matches in AEW have the potential to be the greatest matches in the world. They just need a little bit more direction and timing and different things and training, more time, more TV time, more house shows, a lot more house shows and stuff like that. So they got so many talented people, I don't even know how they get them all on TV now. It's just tough. But they'll figure it out, hopefully, or it's not too late or anything like that.
Yeah.
get things under control. They got to start with all this fighting and stuff like that. And really get that under control. They got to get everybody to work together for a bigger picture, so they can be competing with
Yeah.
all the markets. You know?
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
So there's so much chaos there. Somebody's got to take control of something.
Yeah, so speaking of CM Punk, we just mentioned him. He got suspended, and he's set to come back out to All Out. That's taking place where? Chicago, his hometown? How do you think the crowd's going to react to that?
Also, Tony Khan did suspend people then.
Hmm?
Tony Khan did suspend people? CM Punk?
Apparently.
Jack Perry too?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're both all right. Well, see, I should have known that. I did cardio this morning. It should have been up in my feeds. So he suspended. They're both suspended. Okay. And they're in Chicago this weekend, and that's where the pay-per-view is.
Yeah.
And so you're asking me what do I think that how the people are gonna react if CM Punk's not there? I don't know. I mean, I know he's from Chicago, but is he the only draw? That's who's all on the card. There's a lot of matches on that card. They always have like kind of a stacked card. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes or whatever pops up on that pay-per-view. Because wasn't she in the audience or something at all in Wembley?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her WWE name?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
Okay,
Sasha
yeah.
Banks. So
Yeah.
right, it's Mercedes Moné now. Moné.
Yeah.
Moné. So I wouldn't be surprised if she showed up there. I don't know what her contract is or obligations, but if they teased her in that crowd there, they might not be so worried about what the fans think about CM Punk being there or not there, because they might be banking on a pop there. If she, boom, look, we got her. She's not. She didn't go back to New Japan, or she was hurt in New Japan. The last we heard, it was an ankle or something. And then it was quiet, and then you seen her in the crowd in Wembley. So booking and watching their booking, I would guess, but I'm not right. I'm not a booker, but just watching things and watching trends, I would think that they might not be so worried about CM Punk not being there. I don't know how the crowd will react. I have no idea if everybody in Chicago just came to CM Punk. I don't believe that. The AEW has loyal fans that travel to all their shows, so I don't think they're going to be too terribly up. There'll be a lot, but I don't think it's going to affect the mood of a crowd. There might be some groups of people that maybe protest or something if they're true Punk fans, and but I think they might swerve everybody and do a debut of her maybe. But I don't know what her contract is, so maybe she can't. Maybe it'll have to be after. But there's no reason you would show her over there if there wasn't something burning over here. So so I think that's what might go down there. So that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe you got a very important business lady things to do. I got a 2:00 meeting myself I got to do, and Raymond, I don't know what he does besides edit and produce all day.
Does Neely actually want me to say something about
what's that?
Bash? Did he actually say that?
No, I was just messing with you.
I was like, oh god.
He doesn't even know I'm in here. He doesn't know I'm in here.
Okay, I'm like, oh lord.
But want some? Get some.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
All right, that was episode 76. Want some?
Get some.
Bad enough.
No,
Take some. Bang in the bang.
I gotta memorize this thing.
Oh,
When I get put on the spot, I'm like.